There is a drawer full of perfectly functional pens, and you reach past every single one of them for this specific pen, the one with the exact right weight, the exact right ink flow, the one that somehow makes your own handwriting look more like yourself than any other pen ever does. And if someone else picks it up, even innocently, even just to jot down a phone number, something in you flinches. A small, genuinely irrational flash of protectiveness over an object that costs perhaps $2 and writes objectively no better than the 12 identical pens sitting right next to it. Carl Jung had a genuinely delightful explanation for why one specific cheap object earns this kind of loyalty while dozens of near-identical ones do not. Jung believed that objects used repeatedly during focused, meaningful activities slowly absorb a kind of familiarity that goes beyond their simple physical function, becoming genuinely bonded to the specific feel of concentration, creativity, or flow that they were present for during countless small repeated moments. This particular pen was there for the important notes, the good ideas, the satisfying signature on something that mattered, and this accumulated history is not something any of the other identical looking pens in the drawer actually share, no matter how chemically similar their ink might be. This explains why the specific pen feels so different from its nearly identical siblings, since the difference was never really about the object's actual physical properties. It is about the accumulated familiar history this one particular pen happens to carry, a history built entirely through repetition and use that a brand new unused pen simply has not had the chance to develop yet. Here is the genuinely charming part of this. There is nothing remotely embarrassing about this attachment, and it is one of the more universal and more harmless quirks people carry around without ever quite naming it. Nearly everyone has some version of this exact same loyalty. A specific mug, a specific chair, a specific pair of scissors that somehow works better than all the others, despite being, by any objective measure, completely identical. There is one small, genuinely useful thing worth doing with this understanding. If this particular pen genuinely matters to you, it is entirely reasonable to simply say so plainly and warmly the next time someone reaches for it, not as an overreaction, but as an honest, small preference. The same way you might mention you prefer a specific seat or a specific mug. There is no need to feel silly about protecting something that has earned its place through genuine, repeated use. Think honestly about the specific object in your own life that produces this exact small flash of protectiveness, and consider what particular history of use it has actually accumulated that makes it feel so different from its identical looking siblings. Right below the single word for that specific object, naming it, and allowing yourself real, unembarrassed affection for it is the real and genuinely delightful way to honor one of the more charming and more universal quirks that nearly everyone secretly carries. Because getting genuinely protective over one specific pen was never, according to Carl Jung's understanding, an irrational overreaction to a cheap, replaceable object. It was real, accumulated familiarity built entirely through repeated use, and that kind of familiarity was never something its identical siblings in the drawer ever actually had the chance to earn.